A lot. I have started over a lot. When I say a lot, I'm telling you this means a lot. I've tried everything. I've tried all the different variations of starting an account. You go find me somebody who has started over this many times. All right, I've had a lot of people talking about the server situation, whether that's that they keep making new servers and kind of diluting the player base, or whether that servers are dying off and players are leaving, or players who want to change servers, maybe go play with friends or maybe start over, but they don't want to leave their progress behind. So there's a lot of chatter going on about the condition of the server. So first of all, I don't think the player base is necessarily leaving. That's not the sense I've got. The sense I get is that players are just kind of moving to new servers, trying to get fresh starts, trying to start over, maybe leaving a server that has a lot of pay-to-win players to try to look for a server that doesn't have so many, or maybe it's a pay-to-win player who just kind of wants to take over a new server. There's a lot of different scenarios, I think, that are going on with the number of servers that we have coming out, which is a completely different conversation. But what we're going to talk about in this video is the perfect way to start your account. So what I did is I set out almost from the beginning to kind of nail down the perfect start. I've tried it all. I've tried gotcha grabs. I've tried getting the challenge fund and putting it all into the summons. I've tried getting the challenge fund and putting it all into intimacy. I've tried spreading it around. Basically every different type of variation I could come up with as far as how to start an account, I've tried. And this is going to be the culmination of all of that information. Big shout out to Diane. You guys have heard me talk about him before. A huge helped me out a lot with this, pulling thoughts together, organizing it all, testing new stuff. And he and I we started over on, server 590. So come check us out if you want to, if you want to try this, if you want to find a place to start over. If you have no other recourse but to leave your current server and come start new, come have some fun, or even if you do have other recourse but you still want to, come check us out, or just pick us another server that you want to try this on, okay? So let's take a look at where we were about 10 days after starting on this new server. If we jump on in here to the leaderboard, okay, Might, I'm number 1 on Might. That's not that huge of a deal. That's kind of more going to be server specific. There's not a really big whale on here that's really necessarily pushing me to have that. There are some people that are spending some money, but there's not like a giant kraken that I'm dealing with here. Campaign, I'm no good at campaign. Oh, I'm actually 8th in campaign. I guess that's not bad. I didn't realize I was that high in campaign. Okay, you see Dine is 10. He's right behind me in campaign. On Might, I forgot to show y'all, he's number 8 in campaign, so we're 8 in Might, so we're both top 10 in Might. We're both top 10 in campaign. Okay, intimacy. Right now, we're in an intimacy event, so these numbers are kind of fluctuating. We're both sitting in the top 3 right now. I kind of spent all of mine earlier. I don't have a whole lot to put in. I wanted to be number 1 and 2 in this, but somebody jumped up ahead of me before I could record this video. But we're top 3 in intimacy and districts. We're number 1 and number 2 in districts. The other thing to note here is that my district number does not have a guild buff attached to it. I did join a guild. We had a difference of opinion, so I moved on. So your boy has his own guild, again, with no buffs currently because nobody else is in it but me. That's a whole nother story. But we're looking at number 1 and number 2 for us in districts. Okay. Now, keep in mind, this is during the first, I guess overall, it would be like the first 2 weeks of this server, because this is a brand new server. Yeah, we didn't start as soon as it opened up, but it's still on its first full cycle. We still have 2 days left in that final intimacy challenge you can see there. All right, so that's where we sat at the end of like the first 10 days of the server. Now, if we come in and look, it's like the day after the first full cycle ended on the server. You see, we are currently holding 4 out of the 6 towers on this server, all following this plan that I'm going to lay out for you here in this video. So if you're looking for a quick hot start, now you may not win towers, you may not win challenges, you may not be number 1 or number 2 on the leaderboard, but the point that I'm trying to make to you is that you can get up to speed, up and running very quickly if you develop your account properly. All right, so the first question you have to ask yourself when getting ready to start a new account is, what kind of account is it going to be? You really have 3 choices. You can do a full-out pay-to-win, you can do a full-out free-to-pay, or you can do what I call LR, low resources. Now, if you're doing pay-to-win, obviously you can use this guide to kind of show you where the best place to spend your money is, but the timeline is kind of irrelevant to you. You can do it in any order that you want, as fast, as much money as you want to spend. If you're doing it free to play, you can still use this guide, but just understand when I talk about winning challenges and things like that, probably not going to apply to you. It's going to be slower to develop. You're not going to have as many resources available to you right away, just as fast, but you can still use this as your roadmap. Just understand that your development's going to be slower. You're going to be coming from it from more of a long-term approach as opposed to the timeline that I'm going to lay out for you. And now, if you're going to do low resources, that is the guideline that we're using here. And what do I mean by that? So when we talk about the low resource start, we're essentially talking about it's going to spending about $35. So we got the challenge fund, we got the 30-day privilege card, and we got the ancient trove unlock, just the $10 ancient trove unlock. The reason we chose that combination is a couple things. First, challenge fund, by far the best value. Okay. Second, the ancient trove gives you a ton of gold resources to help you stay leveled, to help you keep pushing campaign, and to avoid that initial bottleneck. And tacking on the privilege card at the end is just kind of it's beneficial to get whatever it is, the 120 diamonds every day, but also what that does is allows us to surpass that $29.99 mark that you need to unlock the likeness campaign from that top-up event that every new account gets. Do you have to take that path? No. You can choose any of the paths that I talked about. You can spend however you want to, but just understand that if you're not spending anything, your development is going to be slower than what I'm talking about. If you're spending a lot, then you can kind of fast forward through some of this, but not all of it, because a lot of it is going to be dependent on the challenges and more so the packs that are available during those challenges. So let's take a look now at the timeline. Okay, so when we talk about timeline, the thing that I want you to understand is timeline is only relevant if you're really trying to min-max basically your uptime. If you're trying to see how fast you can go from starting the account to be kind of full throttle, fully developed, all of that stuff, then the timing is important. Otherwise, if you're just swapping over to join a friend, if you're just swapping over to come join us on 590, if you just want a fresh start, you want to jump into a new server, the timeline is only relevant for that min-max, just from 0 to 60 type approach. Otherwise, you can start whenever you want within the cycle, because I'm going to break it down into phases for you, how you're going to approach the three different development aspects to getting your account up and going. But if you're looking for that min-max, or you're looking for the perfect time to start, then really what you're looking for is during the very first cycle of a brand new server. You want to get in probably about the last day or two, probably the second to last day on the first intimacy challenge. So it goes, the very first challenge is might and campaign. And then when that ends, there is a bonus intimacy challenge that won't be there during your normal cycle. So you want to get in on about the second to last day of that intimacy challenge. What that does is it gives you enough time to get full value out of the ancient trove if you choose to buy the ancient trove. It also gives you enough time to get through enough of the campaign to get your companion up and going, to put some intimacy into getting that mythic companion. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about the 3 phases of early game account development. So that's how you want to kind of plot that out. Now, from my kind of testing and like, you're really not going to know what timeline the server you're switching to is on. Really what I figured out is you're probably looking at about 35 servers, give or take, from the newest server. So start at the newest server, count back about 35, 36 servers. That should put you on a server that is in that time frame that I'm talking about, as far as starting near the end of the intimacy challenge. Okay, real quick, let's talk about the comp that I'm going to suggest you use to start your account. Okay, Dine has lovingly dubbed this the Campaign Crusher. We put this together. The idea behind it is it uses one of every class, so when you're trying to ascend your champions, nobody is competing for the ascension fodder. Now, later on, when you get your account online, you're a little more stable. You can switch this out and kind of build it however you want, but I'm going to suggest this is what you use to push through campaign, to get some good placements in the Valley of Conquerors, to get some good placements in the arena. So it's basically going to break down like this: female Lionstone, female Ugrel, male Yiv, male Tide, male Aeson. And the reason is all of these champions are available by captives, exploration, or both. So there's lots of them available. They're easily available. You can develop them quickly. You're going to get lots of fodder for them. Plus, it's a very, very strong team. So this is what I'm going to recommend that you use. You obviously can use whatever you want, but if you're looking for a good starter team, this is the comp for you. Okay, so the first phase we're going to talk about, and I'm going to break this down into different phases because I want you to be able to, no matter what server you start on, no matter where it is in the rotation for your challenges, you can kind of pick up and go and adapt and adjust. Just knowing what you need to accomplish during the phase, and wherever the cycle is on that server. So the first phase we're going to talk about is what I'm going to call the companion phase. During this phase, we want to accomplish a couple of things within the first cycle. Now, if you're starting on a brand new server and you start during the first intimacy challenge that I'm telling you about, then you have 2 different intimacy challenges that you can split this up between if you need to. You probably will need to, because I don't think you'll be able to push through the campaign fast enough to unlock enough from the challenge fund. So what we're looking at accomplishing during the companion phase is a few things. You want to unlock some extra air slots. So unlock number 4 through 8. Just make sure you have 8 air slots. I forget how many. I think you start with 3, so you want to unlock 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. unlock some air slots, put some diamonds into that. That's going to prove to be helpful as you move down the road. That one is kind of small. Okay, the next focus that you want, or actually, this is not in any particular order, but the next thing that we need to accomplish during our companion phase is unlocking the Griffin companion. The reason that this companion is important is because Griffin is male Griffin is the best farmer for the green district. So that's going to help us with our districts. So we want to unlock the Griffin companion. Now, if you're doing the dungeon descent runs, buy any of the Griffin specific companion favors. Okay, so that's going to be, it's 600 for the small package or 1,200 diamonds for the large package. Buy them if it offers them to you. If it doesn't offer them to you, buy the choice boxes. These are the most efficient way to unlock your companions. Yes, if you use chalices from like Valley of Conquerors, or from winning or participating in any of the challenges, yes, you can get some stuff with the chalices kind of for free or whatever, but there's no guarantees in those. Okay, so kind of the best way for you to get your companion, just don't be scared to spend in the dungeon. You can buy the choice boxes, or you can buy the companion specific favors if they present themselves to you. So we want to get Griffin unlocked. And then our goal is to get Trevane, Yvnian, and Griffin. All three of those companions we want to get to mythic level as far as the intimacy is concerned. This is going to give you a few different things. So with the Trevane and even the Griffin, you're going to do Trevane first. Make sure Trevane is the first companion you get to mythic. And then Yiv and Griffin as you get enough intimacy bundles. What this is going to allow you to do is it's going to allow you to make fodder for your marriages, to move mythic level traits onto champions that are not mythic level, but giving you a very strong team. And when you produce the mythic heirs, they're worth somewhere around an average of 1 million might per heir. So this is a great way for you to develop your account, right? Because we get those daily diamonds on our account. So the higher our account gets, the more we're getting from those daily diamonds. It also allows you to compete for the Might Challenge when the Might Challenge is coming up. So for all of you people out there who have had me on your server in the past and you accused me of being a whale, it has nothing to do with being a whale. I'm just producing mythic heirs. I'm not doing summons. I'm producing mythic heirs that give me 1 million or a little bit more or a little bit less, depending on the traits that they come out with, but gives me 1 million might per heir that I produce. So level Trevane to mythic first, and then also during your companion phase, Yiv and Griffin are your other goals to get to mythic. And kind of as a smaller goal, you want to get any of the other companions that you can to epic. Why are we using epic? Because epic gives us as many traits as legendary, and then we can just marry mythic traits in onto those epic champions and have, even though we'll be one trait short, we can have a very strong team. So that's what you want to accomplish during the companion phase of your account early game. Now, the charm phase of your account development, I think, at least for me, and I'm going to say this for me personally, for the longest time, I just ignored charm. I didn't think it was that big. If you haven't been ignoring charm, good for you. If you have been ignoring charm, stop. We need to develop the charm on our companions. And so what you're going to do is you're going to allot yourself a little less than 14,800 diamonds to buy charm packs. Now, we're going to buy the $5.99 charm packs. You're going to give yourself about 24 of them, okay? Now, if you want, you can also buy any of the charms coming from the dungeon, because those are all the 80% off and the 90% off, all better value than the charm packs that you get during the charm challenge. So feel free to buy those as well. Just keep track of how many diamonds you're spending in the dungeon so you don't overspend your budget when the challenge comes on those $5.99 packs. So keep track of what you're spending in the dungeon. Spend whatever you have less on the packs when the charm challenge comes. We want to buy up all this charm, okay? And we want to pump it into our our companions to develop our charm, which is going to give us more charisma. And this is going to pay huge dividends for developing our districts. The best way to use your charm is to basically hit milestones, okay? Now, it's basically in order from highest to lowest as far as efficiency. You get more from hitting a milestone on a 3-star companion than on a 1-star companion. But as much as you can with your intimacy, just hit the next milestone. So what I do is I went through and I got all of my 3-star companions to the first milestone. Then I got all of my 2-star companions to the first milestone and all of my 1-star companions to the first milestone. And then I did that all over again, getting to the second milestone and then to the third milestone until I ran out of charm. So do that. One thing to note about charm is that the milestones do not matter towards the charisma that you develop when you use the carouse option. But the milestones do matter towards your district bonuses. So that's why we want to hit as many milestones as we can. But as far as charisma production from the carouse function, the milestones don't matter in that. It's just how much charm are you spending. So again, allow yourself that amount of diamonds to buy 24 of the $5.99 packs, or to spend in the dungeon and buy the packs with whatever's left over. The district phase of your early game account development, very similar to the charm phase. In fact, we're allotting the same amount of diamonds for it. Okay, about 14,700 and some change in diamonds. 24 of the $5.99 packs is going to be the way to go. There's not really anywhere else to spend for districts, so you don't have to worry about the dungeon or anything else like that. Just wait for the districts event, buy the $5.99 packs, and then we're going to pour them into districts. Now, the way that we're going to pour them into districts is we're essentially going to get everything to level 5, so you can put in 2 of the district farmers. And then you want to start on the market. The market is going to be our first target. We want to get that up to level 15 first. Why? Because the first companion that we got to Mythic is going to be the Travaine. We're going to be able to get some very good, very solid Mythic level district farmers out of Travaines. The male Travaine is, I believe, the second or third highest farmer in the yellow district, only behind the Lux. So male Travaine farmers is what we're going for with our Travaine companion that we got to Mythic that we talked about in our companion phase. And so that's why we want to unlock more in the market than anywhere else to begin with. So that should kind of be your overall progress there, is get everything to 5, then get the market to 10 and then to 15. And then you can kind of develop from there as well. As far as the bread, you want to get all of the markets that you have unlocked to this point to level 200 or to 200 workers. And then you can kind of start dumping it all into the market, because the market is the most efficient. The workers are the cheapest. You get the most out of it because they're the cheapest. So buy workers in the market, but get everything else to level 200 because that's going to help you with the development guide and being able to progress through the development guide. So districts is pretty simple. Buy a bunch of packs, level everything to level 5, get market to 15, 200 workers in every district, and then start dumping your workers into the market. Okay, a few final tips and hints that I want to give you for your account development. First one's first, in the Senate, don't ever buy anything other than bread during your early game account development. We want as much bread as we can get for those district developments. So bread only from the Senate until you get to the point where you have mythic gear coming out of the Senate. So only bread. The next tip that I have for you is use the development guide. Push the development guide as much as you can, as far as you can. However, also use your discretion because we want to try to win or place as high as we can in these challenges because that's going to be extra resources for us. So be careful about the higher workers in the development guide. Kind of judge where you are as far as your account development, where you are as far as like your challenge rotation. If the district challenge is soon, then I would suggest that you hold off on doing the higher workers in the development guide because all of that bread will count as points for your district challenge. The other thing about the development guide are the vigor potions. The carouse with a companion is what it tells you to do. Only use your vigor potions for the development guide until you've gone through the charm phase of your account development. Once you've dumped all of your charm into your companions, then you can start carousing freely. Start carousing, I usually carouse down to about 10 or 11 vigor potions left and then save those for things like the Hall of Fame quests that tell you to carouse with a companion or the development guide, things of that nature. It's okay to spend one vigor potion for the development guide. Each time it asks you to carouse with a companion, if you have to spend a vigor potion for that, that's fine. Yes, you're losing out on some charisma, but the resources you get from the development guide are valuable to your account development as well. However, don't do anything extra above and beyond what the development guide asks for when it comes to your vigor potions until you have spent your charm. Then you can start maxing out those vigor potions, get tons of charisma, and pour them into your districts to really help you with that. Okay. One other thing to note for you, in case you don't already know about this, is anytime you level up your account. So anytime you come into your account page and you click on the little level up icon there because you have pushed your might past a certain point, understand that doing that refills, not completely refills, but refills your Senate options. Okay. So here, if we come in here and we look, I have 6 out of 16 Senate issues available. Okay. Well, when I level up my account, those issues get refilled. So anytime you level up your account, make sure first you go into your Senate and you empty out the Senate. Now, I will say one caveat is it doesn't really start refilling your Senate issues until after your account has reached a place where you unlock the first outfit. So once you've unlocked that outfit, you're going to start getting those bonus Senate issues. So make sure you empty out your Senate anytime you're going to level up your account. Also, don't forget about captives. Clear out your captives as you get them. All of those diamonds are valuable for your account development. And do the Dungeon Descent. Dungeon Descent has great resources, free resources, and a great shop. So do that as well. I hope that this guide helps you and gives you the confidence to go start a new account. Or if you're brand new to the game and you just found this video, I hope this will help you get on track very quickly. Tell me down in the comments what you think. Like, comment, subscribe. We will have some more mid-game, end-game videos coming out about this stuff as well. Like, what should we do next after we've accomplished all of this? We will have some of that coming out. I am Belligerent. Peace.